What's up guys? For today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 things I hate about my F80 BMW M3. If you don't know and you're new here, I've owned the car for about 2 months and it has been a blast so far, but there is a few complaints that I do have about the car, so let's hop in and talk about those things because there is some improvements that could have been made to this generation of M3. Alright, the first thing I have to complain about is the build quality of a few of the materials used in the interior of this thing. Now, things like the paddles, they feel amazing. The leather material is premium, top-notch, just like its competitors. But there is a few complaints that I have, such as like buttons and stuff that literally came right off of a 2000s 2 Series, 3 Series, whatever, and they just feel cheap. They rattle around, they wiggle side to side when they're not supposed to, and I don't really like that. It makes the car feel like it has some really nice things and they cheaped out on some other things, and it just doesn't really feel entirely premium. You know, like when you buy a Bugatti or a Bentley, for example, everything in there is just top-notch and premium, and yeah, I get it, those cars are a lot more luxurious and expensive, but still, it makes the experience a lot more enjoyable when everything is nice. So paddles, they're nice. They feel absolutely incredible. I love the length of them. They're high quality. They feel great, amazing to shift up and down with like that. And you know, the leather, everything is amazing. But then you get to something like this. And as you can see, that is the M emblem in the middle of the seats, and these are notorious for cracking, and I get that they replaced these with the upgraded ones in like, I think 2017 or 18 for all M4s and M3s. But yeah, this is just horrible, and I've heard of them cracking after like 3 or 6 months of ownership, and since they were under warranty, the BMW dealer replaced them for them. But that is just ridiculous. That should not be happening. And then just buttons like, you know, all of your kind of controls in here, like, yeah, you're not really gonna make, I don't know what else you would make them out of, but I feel like they could feel a little bit more premium. Like even my mom's Forward Edge titanium has some nicer button feels in it than some of these. I do like this though, however. This for the media display is actually very nice. But yeah, just some of these, they're just not that good. And then like this button cluster on the door here, it just doesn't seem that nice. Like it already looks just so dated. And you can see how much dust gets down in that crevice. Like, I don't know, the design of some of the things in here is just not top notch, if you ask me. Like this whole thing looks like it was out of a early 2000s 3 Series or something. And compared to its competitors, like Mercedes and Audi even, this interior definitely lacks compared to the C63 or RS5 of this generation. Now, I think the newer ones, like the newer M cars, they have nailed it and they are at the top of the game as far as interiors. So let's move on to number 2. Okay, sticking with the interior, there is absolutely no storage in this thing whatsoever. Like, they give you these little side pockets right here, which it looks like you're able to put a cup in there, but no cup that I have found fits in there at all. And there's no side up here for anything. And then center console right there for your wallet and keys, and I have a little bag of gum in there as well, but it is so shallow in there, not very big at all. And then you have 2 little cup holders right there, and if your drink is too wide and tall, it'll rub against the side right there, so you have to watch out for that. I had to buy this skinny hydro flask specifically for when I got this car. Get back there, we have an even smaller side door compartment right here. Not sure what you're gonna fit in there. Leg room in the back is decent. I mean, it really is not the worst thing in the world. And since the hips on this thing are so wide, like you really have a lot of room in the back seat. It's definitely a comfortable place to be back here. But again, with the storage, there's nothing in here. And I get that it's supposed to be a performance sedan and storage is not at the utmost priority, but come on, like my Ford Fusion had like literally quadruple the amount of storage of this thing, and it is like wild. I'm making do with it, it's okay. I just wish there was a little bit more room to store stuff, but I like to travel light in my car anyways. I don't like a lot of stuff rolling around because I like to, you know, take turns fast, anything, and it's annoying when you have a lot of shit rolling around. With that being said, the trunk space is pretty big. Definitely a lot of trunk space, and I like that there's this little netted side compartment over here. That's very handy. And then you've got this little place over here. But yeah, you can definitely fit a decent amount of stuff in the trunk. The third thing I hate about the car is the cold start in efficient mode. It sounds like a raspy vacuum cleaner or something. And I don't know if every F80 owner has this problem, but it is the worst sounding thing I've ever heard. I will try and get it on a clip for you. It's obviously not gonna be a cold startup, but at least it'll start up in efficient mode. Pretty awful, right? Sounds pretty good in sport mode though. I'll give you guys a few revs. Boom, the car is looking great though. It is super dirty, you guys just can't tell because of the lighting we're in right now. But I got my new plate on. It says subscribe, just obviously with the U and the I taken out. The fourth thing I hate about the car is the steering wheel starts up in sport mode every time you start the car. And so you have to go down here and hit this 2 times to get it into comfort mode, because the steering on this thing is way too heavy, just especially around town, like when you're trying to drive around parking lots and stuff. It's just obnoxiously heavy, and I think anyone on forums and stuff will agree with that. So I don't know why they made it that heavy, but yeah. So I always have to put it into comfort mode when I start it up. Very annoying complaint. The next thing is specific to this car because of the negative front and rear camber of the wheels. This car is especially harder to keep straight at highway speeds because the wheel is basically, you know, as you can see right here, it's like that basically, just not super aggressive. I mean, it is super aggressive, but you can really see it there in this lighting. That basically means that there is less tire flat on the ground, and so there's a lot of wear. It's basically riding all the weight of the car is riding all on the inner tire, and it's just a lot harder to keep straight highway speeds. And it looks awesome, but it's definitely just not ride as well as a stock M3, which is kind of a bummer. That's my fourth complaint about the car, very specific to this one because it has that very aggressive front and rear camber, especially on the rear. I mean, you can see those wheels poking out, and they are just completely slanted like that. Go to this side. Yeah. Like, look at that. Looks badass though. And that is gonna wrap up the video about 5 things I hate about my F80 BMW M3. I hope you guys like it. Hit that subscribe button and that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one.